done it? Are we live? Hit one of the buttons. Haha! Hello. Happy Wednesday. I needed to pause that for a quick second because when I initially went live, Mixer decided, hey, you've got your own channel open. Obviously you want to listen to the stream that you're watching, right? Thank you, Dylan. It came in a box about that big. The box itself was about the size of my mug, and the whole jacket fit in there. So, that's fun. Yes, I do see that. I think I might have to slightly adjust my... what's it called? It's been a while. Filters? Compressor. Let's lower that threshold slightly. Okay. So, I know Curious has already launched the game. Don't see Sonic or Jat. Sonic might be an hour or two because of time zones. That's fine. So what we're going to do, first of all, is we're going to lower the music even further. Yeah, keep it below the green. That looks good. Okay. The first thing we're going to do... Why does that sometimes fade and sometimes doesn't? We're going to open this loot box. So, this is a legendary anniversary loot box. The difference between this... I don't know if it's Transition Matrix that's bugging out, or whether it's the motion transition. I think it's Transition Matrix. But it doesn't log any errors, and I haven't been able to pin it down, so... The beauty of a legendary loot box is that you are guaranteed one legendary. And we got Formal Doomfist. My default transition is Fade, which is what it falls back to. And we got the Genji Victory Pose, the Zenyatta voice line, and the Baptiste emote. I will be right back. Okie dokie. I think so. It seems like it might be. Okay. I think it's safe to turn off the music now. And we're gonna invite Curious into this. The only downside of this jacket, it has sleeves with little metal buttons, and they hit my table. Fine. She hasn't joined the voice chat yet. What's new? So, there are a lot of skins in this event. Yeah. They're built into the jacket. You not in group chat? I know. It's a very nice jacket. Has a big Overwatch logo on the back. This is really nice. Hello.
Hi, it took me a minute to realize I actually was in the group.
Ah. Fair enough. So there's a lot of stuff in this event. There are some really good voice lines too. Right?
That one
Sonic,
Mercy one is really good.
Sonic, I was considering wearing this beanie as well. I feel like my mic is a bit sensitive today.
Oh yeah, no, it is.
Is it? It
That or you're
shouldn't
just
be.
talking really loudly.
Oh no, that's normal. I mean that it's picking stuff up more often. And I'm also carrying my usual water bottle. Haven't decided, Dylan. It'll mostly be arcade because we do have two things that are unavailable in a group. So I'll have to try that out later. There is Junkenstein's Revenge, which we obviously have to play at least once. And the new workshop is out. So you've got stuff like third person, you've got advanced widow headshot, you've got gun game, you've got cookie clicker, you've got Flappy Farah, you've got Frogger, you've got time trials, you've got Pokemon, all sorts of stuff. And we're going to be trying all of it. I've even put together a bit of my own list over here of other workshop codes that are fun. Like Diva Racing. So it's going to be really interesting. Sonic, I assume you'll be joining us a little later? Yeah, Dylan, of course. Jump on. You might have to update the game, though. You know, because you haven't played in a bit. Okay. Oh. Oh, among all of the... Sonic, as you can see, there were a lot of messages in between here. I'm sorry. You could have sent a request, you know.
Well, you know, usually when I boot this game before it's even fully loaded, I get a bloody thing from you. So I was just expecting that. Also,
Mm-hmm.
I am really upset about this event.
I second your opinion on many aspects.
Okay, Diva got 2 skins, and a lot of the skins in this event are really nice, especially the purples. I really like them, like Forest Carbon Fiber and everything.
So one thing on that front.
Literally nothing.
I know.
Anna got nothing. Not a single thing. Not even a voice line. Like, come on!
To be fair,
Junkrat got a voice line.
a lot of the voice lines for this year are movie quotes, and basically all of Anna's voice lines are already movie quotes. So they probably just ran out of unique voice lines to give her.
They still could have given her a skin.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on.
Well, in terms of skins, I think the reason why both Farah and Diva got 2 skins each is someone at some stage mentioned that they don't go, hey, anniversary is coming up, what skins can we do? It's as the skins are finished and ready, that's when they release them. So they might have released, maybe carbon fiber in a future thing, but it was ready now, and so they were like, hey, let's push it out.
So that's like 4 different heroes that essentially have carbon fiber skins, because Diva's midnight skin is pretty much carbon fiber.
Yeah.
And now Doomfist, Farah, and I believe Genji has a carbon fiber skin. It's literally called carbon fiber. Yeah, he does.
Mm-hmm. So we've got Diva, the new Diva skin. People were like, oh, this doesn't break the internet. Firstly, it has gold accents. Secondly, the head on the top moves with Diva's head in the mech. So that's a lot of fun. A lot of people are really liking the Mei skin, and it looks like they might have broken Mei's back again. That's not how angles work on the human body.
She got booty.
Well, they had the same issue with the, I want to say, Lunar New Year skin? Also, her knees are very pink.
Hey, she's just cinched. I think it looks fine.
Oh, that's very weird, Dylan. Yeah. I love the idea behind Farah's skin. Did we lose Sonic, by the way? Oh, I didn't realize one of his horns was damaged. I think we might have actually lost Sonic.
He did.
So, so Toxic Roadhog doesn't actually have a head. Because almost all of his skins, he has some kind of mask to hide his face. This one just, let's not give him a head.
He's just got a straight up skull and I love it.
Mm. There's a tiny skull in the little back container.
I'm glad they kept that theme with Roadhog, that none of his skins you actually see his face. It's still completely unknown. I just, because I've heard what you're saying before, and I just went through it all, and yeah, not a single one of his skins shows his face at all.
Yeah.
And I like it.
Oh, the Reaper victory pose.
I haven't even looked through them, to be honest.
Life is a highway.
Also, I understand it, but I am a little, again, upset that the skins from previous events are still 3,000.
Well, it's only from the past year.
When was Summer Games?
In the summer.
In their summer. I believe it's our winter. So, no, yeah, Summer Games would have... Yeah, never mind. I was trying to remember, like, dates and shit, but... Yeah, because that's the only skin I'm missing for,
Duty is the only destiny I know. The sword is an elegant weapon for more civilized
I'm
age.
just short. I'm missing, like, 15 coins, and it's really irritating. Oh, no, 115. Close enough.
bomb. I like both kinds of music, country and western.
McCree's voice line. I like both kinds of music, country and western.
Fetch me my hammer. I've died a hero and lived long enough to become the villain.
So dramatic.
I'm going to quickly raise the game volume a bit while we're in the menu, just so that I can play some of these amazing voice lines.
I love this part!
You should try my meatballs.
Better to be lucky and good.
Your flaws are revealed in the iris.
My secret? Sit-ups and push-ups and plenty of juice.
So, the Zarya voice line is a Dragon Ball Z reference.
Really?
Yes. Genji's voice line is a Star Wars reference.
The sword is an elegant weapon for more civilized age.
Why aren't my voice lines playing?
Now that is funny.
The hell? None of my voice lines are playing.
Hammond's... I can actually hear my hard drive spin up a bit every time I select a voice line, so I assume that's part of it. Give it a couple seconds. Hammond's dance is literally a reference to the hamster dance.
Best song ever.
Yes.
Also, he has the benefit of having a robot with a speaker on the front. Alright. So, shall we jump into a couple custom games to start us off?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I like these odds.
Let's see. We have a couple workshop examples here. Let's go. Hero Gauntlet. Alright, Dylan. Keep me in the loop. So. Hero Gauntlet. Everyone.
Welcome to Lijiang Night Market.
So this is also known as gun game.
Ah,
And the idea...
it's gun game.
The idea... Oh, actually, let me... show lobby. Start. The idea is each kill you get, the next gun you move on to.
I can't use my sprays.
Fight.
Never mind. I just couldn't use my sprays while the game was loading.
Oh no, my art tablet's in the way.
Interesting, I have a gun game version. Curious to know what the last hero will be. Probably be like Mercy or something stupid. It's usually someone really difficult.
Prepare to
Probably,
be
yeah.
destroyed.
Very clever, Dylan. Oh, you're on the roof! Rude.
I also noticed that it's all default skins.
It ain't my
Oh, interesting.
I saw you.
I could probably turn that off.
Didn't see shit.
Oh, we had random people joining.
Yes, I set it to public.
Fair enough.
No, no! I can't believe you've done this. Yeah, my mouse feels a bit, iffy. Like, really iffy. I might have to raise the CPU priority of Overwatch. Hold on.
Bitch. Stop my kill. Yeah, okay. So you get 3 hit scans and then you get jammed on Farah.
No,
You're AFK.
please!
I'll leave you alone, you're AFK. Oof.
Oh, you can't.
Ah, bitch.
Someone's about to get killed.
Hi, Mr. T. How's it going?
Really, Zen? Come on! See, I'm not paying attention to who the next hero is. Also, I love that someone managed to get high noon.
It was me.
Oh, really? Rip.
Yeah. I keep dying.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
Hmm. That was a good deep play.
enemy needs.
Can you tell I'm bad at
Okay,
Genji?
piece of shit.
It doesn't help that my mouse is behaving very weird.
Bitch!
I'm getting dodgy mouse acceleration.
I was just about to get that kill and then fucking that guy stole it.
I can't believe you've stolen my kill.
Whom? Me?
Haha.
Where the fuck did that come from?
I rebounded it straight to you.
Really? Oh,
Yep.
you flipped it over, to be honest.
I'm both, Dylan, both.
I will not falter.
No!
Don't run him from me.
I might have to restart my game after this. This is
That's fair.
bad. Might lower the graphics settings in game a bit as well. No, not a bastion!
Hello!
No.
Absolutely not. What a little cunt.
Okay, now it's a bit smoother.
I do not know how to play Doomfist.
No!
You don't deserve
I'm a
to
terrible Hanzo.
know this.
I don't want to know how to play Doomfist. I just went on a hell of a fucking stream though.
Killing me.
Repetition is the path.
Yeah,
You, motherfucker.
I do not know how to play Doomfist.
I'm not very good at this.
Oh, jeez. No.
I was doing so well, and then I just get stuck with a
Repetition
character
is
I
the
keep
path
playing.
to mastery.
Well, that's the idea, isn't it?
Yeah,
any
I went fine through Ana. Wrecked people with it.
That was nice. No! Doomfist!
Oh. Killer ducks.
What? Bastion got the kill for that.
Yeah, it's a bit crazy sometimes.
Are you serious? Like, that was my fucking kill. But no.
What a shame.
This game just had to be
No, I'm so bad.
free for all. I know free for alls are bullshit. But shouldn't be fucking going on.
Don't worry, we'll be doing Diva racing after this.
Can you just stay still so I can get this? Fuck! Are you serious?
You're winning, by the way.
Fuck, fuck, fuck!
No, I've been hacked and I almost got a kill there.
Uga wakataki kurubudu.
Yeah?
Never stop fighting.
No, no. No! I can't believe you've done this.
You're not getting rid of me that.
Says
Nah,
you.
Dylan, Sonic Rage started about a year in.
Vector systems online.
Oh no! Go away, Roadhog! No! Who woke him up?
Just saying.
You fucking cunt.
Take more than
Why did it spawn me facing this way?
And actually, Dylan is right. It was about 3 years worth of rage. I just didn't show it very often.
Nobody was taser.
Quiet.
Oh, fuck you.
You're welcome. Oh no! Did I tell you I'm bad?
Did I tell you I hate being alive?
Whoa!
Single.
Oh! I died.
Again.
Listen.
Come on! At least one kill. No.
Don't touch me, you whore.
Wow.
Oh, come on.
Wow.
Fucking Hans.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah!
Wait, Torbjorn's? One of the
Suck my
last heroes?
penis.
That's odd.
No! No! You stole my kill! I can't believe you've done this.
Thank you.
I've come back from worse.
I could have at
that's
least
why
moved to
Torbjorn's the
Bastion.
last. I know why Torbjorn's last. You only get his hammer.
Oh yeah. Woohoo!
Little brother.
This is BS.
Oh, Dylan has launched the game.
Oh, fuck me.
No, no. Yeah, I'm at least above the line. I'll take it.
You know what? Fuck you.
Fine!
Nice.
Play of the game.
Right then.
I hate Overwatch free-for-all.
Yeah,
The way the system works is just shit.
I agree. That's why I don't play it much. Alright, let's move some people around. And let's start the race.
Can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Absolutely.
Yes,
not.
we can.
What the fuck?
Ooh, this is fun.
Hang on, let me start the race.
What's this?
You want to go through the,
I'd
checkpoints?
say fucking win.
Curious, why are you in the ground?
You're in the ground.
Are you? Jesus.
Oh jeez.
Oh god. Have any control of being able
I'm going up. I don't want to go up. How do I?
What'd you do?
Help!
Absolutely not. Suffer.
Round 1. Capture.
Where was the next checkpoint? Did I miss it?
Maybe.
Hey, I hit
It is
that.
not obvious.
Yeah, I thought. What? It's in the building? How the hell am I meant to notice that?
Oh no, I missed it. Where's the next one?
No idea.
What? Oh, fuck off! I went through that one.
Half the challenge is figuring out which way to go.
Oh
no.
there it is. It's in the fucking building.
Yeah, a couple of them were like that. I had no idea what the fuck was going on.
Honestly, what the fuck?
They won.
Wait, there's a
Play this game?
I don't think you can turn play of the game off.
Hell yeah.
17 damage.
Don't know how I did that.
100% for the team. You really took one for the team there, just saying.
Thank you. I got gold hero damage too.
Now arriving at Lijiang Tower.
Oh, you can shoot. I didn't realize you could shoot.
I play to win.
I play
Think you
to
can keep up with
win.
me?
Is there actually like... Is shift your only way to control this?
As far as I can tell, yes.
Unless you like push yourself off angles and stuff to go down.
So,
Yeah, there's no way to actually.
We're on a team,
yeah.
Matt.
This is gonna be good.
Round 1. Capture the objective.
Oh, that wasn't the right checkpoint.
Come on.
Oh no. Started losing them.
The objective is now active.
Yeah.
No, Curious is gonna win! No!
Yeah.
I'm so good at this.
I missed one because I went through the green ring, but I missed the little ball inside.
I think the ring is supposed to signify...
Fuck you.
I think it's just to tell you where the fuck you need to actually go.
Yeah. This is where I got turned around and then found my way back.
Yeah, I did send
Because the moment you get turned around,
that one.
it becomes a pain in the butt.
Because like that one there, like in part of that play of the game there, but you can't see that one as you're going to it, and the marker doesn't come up for it early enough, so you've just got to kind of know it's there.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what modes people have upvoted.
I kind of wish you got experience in this though, because I just want my honor skin. That's like the only reason I actually care about this event now.
That's fair.
I just want to get that one skin that I missed.
Would you guys like to play 18-hole Torbjorn Golf?
Absolutely.
What, do you go throw the turret or something?
I don't know. Let's try it. I'm very curious how
No
this
one-
works.
Has anyone said anything in your chat since I joined, Matt?
No, it doesn't look like it.
Okay, because I opened up several months ago. You sent me the restream chat link, so I have that open, and then I wasn't seeing any messages, and I'm like, okay, is it a case of an old token, or just no one saying anything?
Yeah, just no one's saying anything. Okay, so the rules are left click to charge your shot, crouch to view the whole camera. The hole is at the red flag. So left click and crouch are the main controls, apparently.
How come Twitch on both my laptop and my desktop have completely forgotten I had dark mode? So how does this game work?
We're about to find out. Oh,
What?
Oh, okay, so... Straight line. We... Oh, I see.
understand
You're
it.
both the ball and the... I get it.
Taken the lead.
I get it.
I don't.
Neither.
You hold down the click and then that powers you up.
Lead.
And,
then you
and when you
the
release, you
flicks
get
in that
thrown.
direct-
I'm at -4.
I'm-
I was holding the wrong click.
Round 1.
For some reason I thought it was
Taken
right
the
click.
lead.
I'm so
Where's the
confused.
hole? Oh, there.
Oh no, I've thrown myself too far.
Oh, if
Wait.
you keep holding it on for too long, it starts going back down.
Really, I bounced across.
No!
I went in the wrong direction.
Really?
Hello. Oh no, I hit the bench.
Yeah, I'm not last.
Lead lost.
I lost the lead. I'm at -12. Okay.
Everyone's at net because it's death.
Oh yeah. 2 shots.
No! Oh, I'm gonna be so last.
So, which
I'm not.
way? Look for the red flag. Aha. Oh, this is gonna suck.
You don't bounce very.
No.
You can't like bounce yourself.
Oh yeah, I landed right in.
Taken the lead.
I can't see what's happening because there's other people.
Oh, you can actually angle yourself. I did not realize
Yes.
that.
Hmm.
But yeah, you can look up-
Did you
Yeah, I
just...
yeah, I didn't know that that was the thing.
I don't understand the negative thingies. Like, how do you...
Yeah, ignore the death count. What you want is the score on the left.
Yeah, but I don't understand the score.
The lowest negative number is the winner.
Or, in other words, the lowest total score is the winner.
Yeah, pretty much get rid of the negative, that's your score.
The negative for me is 21, but my total score is 22.
What?
So,
The negative for me is 43.
What? Okay, never mind, I'm confused as fuck then.
on the top left is the score. You've got the round number, your score, and how much time is left for the round.
Yeah, no,
I don't know
it's
what the
just
good
a-
on the top right means.
I'm
My
guessing
current score is
that, I'm
7.
guessing that's essentially par.
It was
Uh,
thankfully.
Person in my friends list.
Wait, no, I know who that is. Never mind.
Wait, oh, there we go.
I think I've played
Oh.
this before.
Because he joined the game, it caused stuff to behave weird.
I can't see because I'm inside of everyone.
Yeah, same.
Whee!
Fuck you, Owen.
I was hoping to try and get a hole in one. Or a tall bin one.
Lead lost.
Oh, almost!
Yeah, I tried the exact same thing, Dylan.
No! That can't...
See, I don't worry. I think you've just got to pass through the hole. I don't think you actually have to land in it, so I just...
Correct.
Whee! Come on.
Aha!
Damn.
Woohoo! Score 2.
Okay, that was a bad idea.
Yes! Free.
Oh god, this is gonna be a long one for me.
3, I think?
Oh, you had to go around.
Yeah, I missed the shot.
Oh, it's just back outside on the gun.
No, I let go of the wrong button. Land on it! Damn it!
Woohoo! I'm getting better at this.
No!
You son of a cunt.
Oh, your body loses all momentum when you hit the thing. That's really upsetting.
Hitting the sides!
Hell yeah.
No!
I just see this little midget just flying on the corner of my screen.
Taken the lead.
Dang it,
Oh.
I lost
Oh.
so many points there.
Oh, okay.
Whee! Oh, I hit the skybox. God damn it. Ah, I overshot it.
Oh, I overshot it too.
Yeah, I thought I could get like over everything and just kind of land on it, but no, there's a skybox there.
That's an unfortunate reason to lose. Oh.
No!
Really? All three of us at the same time. This is so dumb, but actually fun.
Mm-hmm. That's why I love the arcade and the workshop, because all of these game modes are going to be dumb, but a lot of fun. Oh. Oh, I'm on the wrong side.
Where the fuck is that?
No,
Just in here.
no.
It's where the little health pack usually is.
Yeah, you can see the little health pack.
The little
It's just
room
not
just in
obvious.
front of you, on the left side.
Oh, that one.
I died, and it gave me a whole lot of points for it.
Yay.
Just take the
Yeah.
win, I guess.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Oh, this could get really interesting.
Fuck.
That did not work the way I hoped.
Ooh, I bet if you hit the skybox at the right angle... No!
That's what I'm trying.
No.
Haha.
Doesn't work.
No! No!
I went back to where it was.
Y'all suck.
Yes, I didn't die!
Back off, Curious.
Oh,
Just because I
no,
can.
stupid. There was a pole in the way.
We're going for
I know.
I kind of want to do this as Hammond.
I did the
Someone
trick
should
shot.
make
What do you
this bet
mean?
Hammond.
Not you, Matt. Not that pole.
Oh, did you? Damn. Move your fucking midget face. Can't see.
Firsties.
I think Sonic and I hit it at the same time. Ooh.
Oh, fucking hell, they're getting fancy, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is
Curious,
it? Where
really?
am I?
Curious really wasting no time in getting in there,
Yeah.
right?
Oh no, I hit the top. Sonic, damn you.
Hell yeah.
I just love the ragdoll effect when spectating. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan's like, where the fuck do I go?
I don't know. I actually don't know.
Just leap over there. You're
I
looking
don't know how to describe which way to go. If you, go towards...
Go towards those movie posters.
Yeah, jump over.
Yeah,
Leap
it's-
that way.
Consider it behind the movie posters.
But that's not what the arrow is pointed.
Yep. So, see that Hearthstone
It's because
Arcade, sign?
Heroes Arcade.
Oh, yeah, Heroes Arcade.
There it is.
Aren't we?
On your right.
The arrow pointed
Where the
in the
fuck is
wrong
this
way to
one?
go.
Even the spectating view is wrong.
Which way is the exit? Oh.
I don't understand where this
Oh no, I went over.
Oh, I found it. Oh,
Oh,
No, I went too far.
Firsties. Secondies.
Oh,
There we go.
Nice, Matt.
Wow, we're outside the map.
Nice.
Oh, I did not launch as far as I thought I was going to.
What the fuck?
Oh, it's on the other side. Okay.
Oh, okay, I see it now.
Oh, come on!
That is not obvious at all.
So close.
Oh no! Guys! I have a problem.
That's a shame.
Yes! I got
How do you guys have such low score?
Ignore the... I
Oh,
don't
God,
think there's a way to
it's
see
in
each
midair.
other's scores. Oh, jeez.
I
Okay.
didn't realize it was in midair.
Why am I...
Because
What?
you're on top of the skybox, so you're sliding.
Oh,
Okay.
jeez.
Launch
get
yourself.
it.
That's bad.
Yeah, I didn't.
Oh my
Wait,
god,
how
that's
did
so
you
funny.
It didn't count for you? What? I saw...
No. Oh, that's it.
First place.
Whiz wins.
No, that scoring is wrong. I assume
yeah,
there's-
No, that's for...
Is there a way to actually check the scores?
Maybe we should have been paying attention to it, because I was not.
My total score was 107, I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
Sam.
mine was. I don't actually know, to be honest.
No. I could rewatch the VOD to see mine, but yeah, why is there no way to see the scores?
I think that your deaths are meant to match off with what your score is. Like
Which wasn't the case for me.
score- Yeah, no, I think mine went haywire a little while into it as well. So I think that's what it's meant to do. It's meant to match up.
I mean,
My
Matt's
score was
won
107.
regardless. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, Matt, your score is more like 70 something.
Okay.
Yeah, yours was
Maybe
like
maybe that
75
score it
something.
showed was actually I don't know.
So here's
'Cause
what's happening though, is because in golf, I'm pretty. What's probably happening is that the workshop requires that the larger the score is, the winner. But because golf is scored by the lowest, it's using negatives.
Yeah.
So it
Oh, what's
gave
this
you a
one?
negative 70, so that it would be higher than negative 100.
Select your
I
So
don't
this is
understand what we're doing.
dodgeball.
Oh fuck.
I have a lot of health. There is a ball. Hey, you picked up a ball. So,
3, 2.
I don't get what I'm doing. Do I catch it or do I punch it or?
It's dodgeball.
Well, I know that, but how do I get the ball?
You got it.
Oh no.
That.
Just don't
Oh,
get
you
hit
just-
by it on the first. Oh!
Oh, you have
Oh,
a
I've got
major
it.
attack. You got major
Oh
jump.
fuck. Regret.
I can't see the ball in front of me, to be honest.
No, no.
Yeah!
Wow,
One
way
each.
to lose one for the team.
select your
Wait, does that mean I could still technically hook people if I'm playing Roadhog?
I don't know.
Because you can. I wonder if I can deflect the ball. Ah, okay, you hook it to get the ball back.
Oh no.
Shit. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is.
Oh no.
You threw
It's
the ball.
falling off the map. Oh no.
Go, Dylan.
Fuck you.
Yes!
Oh no.
I
Oh, we
don't.
can jump?
No.
What? I dropped it.
Did not know that.
No.
Oh no.
Did.
No. I had no escape.
Hey, that's what.
So there is. So by the way, there's 18-hole Torbjorn Golf on Eichenwald.
select your hero.
Hmm.
That's another one we could do. Dota Watch FPS MOBA.
I kind of want to try that because I feel like it could be fun. 'Cause I
Hmm.
don't mind MOBAs, but I just feel they take too long.
Match point.
Oh, you whore. Oh wait, I got it.
Now I'm just checking to see if I can hit people. Hup.
Oh,
Ah, so you can't carry it for too long. Otherwise, the timer resets. I see. Also, oh, okay.
Damn it! Oh wait, it was still another one.
Yeah, I did.
Oh no!
I'm just gonna see if I can hit someone. God, it's
Nice.
so hard to actually hit it.
What? You stole it from me!
Ah, okay, if you hit someone while they're holding the ball, you steal it.
Oh.
Hey! Oh, God damn it!
Nice!
Sonic, you're all on your own.
A 1v1.
Bro.
You got this, Curious.
Nah. It's me. What? How did you get it?
Ooh,
Greatness.
saucy.
So confused.
Oh!
Nice.
Brutal. So let's see if this Dota Watch is any good.
I feel like that the only thing that I want them to change with that one is don't make the ball so glowy. It's really hard to see while you're holding it.
Yeah.
Apart from that, that's actually a lot of fun.
So the challenge is...
It'd be great if you had so many people with it.
Uh-huh. The challenge is the glowy orb is one of the very few,
Hey.
very few things you can actually, control. The ring that you saw in the racing one is one of them. The little green one, is another one.
Okay, so pretty much there's no real solid object that you
Yeah, and I think that's one of the limitations. But their plan in the future is to add the ability to have a map editor, and that way you can use anything, right? Okay, so our choices are Rialto, Havana, Lijiang, or Busan
What's this? Just any, I guess.
for Dota Watch.
Yeah, go for any.
Dota Watch.
Okay, Busan's a nice map. Let's do that one.
I don't really understand what's going on or anything, but you know.
Well, we're about to find out, because I've got no idea. So, the controls, leveling up is interact and move. Oh no, okay, so leveling up, you can level up speed, health, and damage.
Now traveling to the south.
Okay, so there's some heroes you can't
Yes.
play.
What are we playing?
MOBA.
I don't know what that is.
League of Legends.
League of Legends, Dota.
On
Yeah.
Heroes of New Earth.
See, I only know of League of Legends and Dota, to be honest.
Han is Blizzard's MOBA.
Oh, Heroes of the Storm, yeah.
So, to level up, you can level up your speed using interact and moving. Interact and crouch is to level up your health, and interact and shoot is to level up damage. I don't fully understand this.
Right.
Yeah. So the buying, the way the buying works, the shop. Next item.
Won't see me coming.
What? This description is rubbish. It says shop, next item page, hold primary fire, buy to crouch.
I don't really get it, to be honest.
Oh, okay. So attack to get the next thing.
Oh, that's a turret.
Yeah, it's a tower.
I'm so confused.
Are there
Guess
no
I'll just stick to what I have.
We don't have enough cash for anything to start anyway.
What
Okay,
is
so the
this?
blue, curious, the blue circles are our towers. We have to defend them.
Ah.
And their towers would be
towers do we
red,
have?
and they will shoot at us. There are 3 towers, I think.
Don't, I'll come with you.
How do we capture
While you
them?
destroy the tower.
So there should be minions, I assume?
Nah, there
Ooh,
aren't
it's
any.
this
But pretty
area.
much, you've got to stand in the ring around the tower and shoot it to destroy it.
Oh, hi!
I was really long. How long is respawn? I still don't get the buying thing.
Yeah, no, the buying
Stuck on
thing
the edge,
seems
it wasn't
bugged.
letting me jump.
I don't understand how we kill the tower.
You've got to
You have
stand
to
in the
stand
ring
in the
and
ring
shoot it.
and shoot at it. And then
That's
it
what
will
I
try
was
and kill you
doing.
while you're at it.
Yeah,
I
it will
wasn't
try and
doing
kill you.
anything.
Yes, it was. You have to.
Look in the top
Damage
right,
towers, hang on.
will say that-
Yeah, damage towers by standing in their attack radius and holding primary fire while looking at them. Damage the base
Yeah,
by
look at
holding
the top
primary
right,
fire
you
while
can
standing
see
in
it
it after
says
all
the
towers have been
live
destroyed.
number. Your live number is how much health the tower has.
Whew. That was the one clip.
Oh no!
There's a Healy thing here.
Need a different arrow.
Oh, there are spots where you can heal. Okay.
Don't touch me.
Whew. Back to work.
I don't know where any other healer things are. Just set up. I got you.
Oh, I see. This is very buggy.
Was I even doing anything?
I don't know, to be honest.
In the top right, there's an alive counter that says how much damage you
Yeah, I'm just not fucking paying attention.
So I want 11.
Ah!
Oh, hey, how come you guys got another player? That's not fair.
What?
You guys got another
Oh.
player.
Oh, that tower's dying fast.
Okay, so I don't get. I don't.
Oh, I
get
didn't update the
why.
title, did I?
Why would you let me die like that?
So this isn't Torb Golf, this is... Oh, damn.
Well, that poor guy who joined our game. Fuck you.
Well, that just happened.
Ah,
Just
okay.
one buy.
I've sort of. I think I may have worked it out. I'm not entirely sure yet. I need to earn some more money, to be honest.
What key do you use to use the up? Oh, it's numbers.
Yeah, the numbers are on the left.
Because
Hello, hello.
The numbers on the left.
Oh, hang on. It didn't actually. Yes.
What? How do you upgrade?
the way I did it was I clicked the number, save,
Hey, we got one of them.
and then I
Yeah,
crouched,
thanks to me.
and it worked.
Oh, jeez.
It's not doing anything.
Yeah, I figured out how to switch between them, but crouching doesn't actually seem to buy. I don't know why.
Help, help.
Because I just
I know,
bought
heal.
something I didn't mean to buy.
I own one healing upgrade, and it works. Oh, jeez.
Nothing.
Or do you just level?
I don't even know how to buy stuff.
Like, do you actually buy anything by choice, or do you just level and get stuff?
No, you don't level and get stuff. Oh, come on, I'm so bad.
No, like when you buy, do you just...
Oh, shit.
I wish I had my abilities, to be honest.
Yes, now heal me.
Yeah, I don't quite understand how to actually buy what
This
I want
seems
to buy.
so...
Yeah.
What?
I don't know.
Okay, so I have... Aha, okay. I now have burn enemies and healing. Let's see how this goes.
How? How are you choosing what to buy?
So,
Oh, so there is abilities we can buy, I assume?
yeah, so on the left side of the screen is a list of upgrades, and when you're standing in the green circle, at the top it'll say which number you've got. Keep an eye on how much money it says it requires, because it won't tell you can't buy something, even if you don't have the money for it.
How do I don't know how to buy anything.
Yeah, they could have made it a little better. I guess they're doing what they can with what they got.
Yeah, the UI is a bit limited. Oh, there are towers on each side.
Oh, there we go. Upgrade 3. So, how do I change what upgrades I want?
You shoot, or you hold attack. Oh, no.
It just doesn't always work.
Yeah, it's not perfect.
I can't get it to work at all.
So
Do
I
just
want to
not
get...
have enough money?
Oh, what's the button to buy skills with?
So, I was wrong. You want to be in the yellow one, which is in the spawn. The green one is a healing circle.
Yeah, no, you gotta be in the yellow circle.
I have jumping 2 for some
Okay,
reason.
crouch seems to be buy.
Upgrade 1 is jumping. No, I want to upgrade healing, which is 2.
Big oof.
I've lost the UI
I
for
don't
the...
have enough
Oh,
money,
there we
that's
go.
why, okay.
Oh, no.
It seems like only more than one person is able to buy.
Yeah, but if there's more than one person trying to buy, the UI bugs out.
Ah, okay, now if I change heroes, does it have a heart attack?
9.
Will I lose my...
It just keeps flashing between buying and...
Yeah, that's the other thing. The UI doesn't stay. It flashes between capture the
Crouching
flag
doesn't
and...
do anything for me.
Yeah, I'm in the same...
I can't.
Oh yeah, like I just had double buying. So
Yeah, it
if
just
I...
keeps flashing for me.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, did I just light
it's-
you on fire? What
Leave me
happened to
alone.
Never.
Okay, so I can see buying above your head at the moment. Maybe if I'm all the way out here, let's just stay in it.
Okay, so now I'm gonna buy that one. Right. I think only one person can buy at a time because it doesn't have the list of players stored correctly.
I just bought healing, so
Yeah, so did I.
somebody else was in there.
Yeah, so that way you can actually tank enough damage to do the thing.
Yes.
Oh no! You've got burn enemies!
Yes,
Don't
I
like
do.
this.
Actually, it's just called burn.
Oh, okay. Then what does burn enemies do?
I have no idea.
What is the difference? Oh god!
I'm not too sure. In the
Oh, that hit me.
does either.
Yeah, this is complicated.
What I want
giving
to
up
do
on
is
buying,
buy
it's
my
not working.
abilities.
Alright, let's try another mode. Let's see what else we've got.
Back to work.
I don't know. I do like this. It's just, I guess, with what they've been given to use, it's a bit janky.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I figured it out. You have to wait until it says buying, and then you have to use the attack button
I shot.
to pick the particular upgrade that you want and then crouch. But the issue is that half the time it doesn't register any of the buttons I pressed.
Yeah, that was my experience too.
So if you are
Just
you
says
buying, at
buying
the moment, Liz?
constantly for me.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. It just flashes buying and then stops.
Yeah, it does flash between capture the enemy flag and what you're buying, which is kind of annoying.
No, I had what they're talking about, where the thing at the top that says upgrade and then the number and then the price, instead of showing that, it just says the buying next attack by crouch thing that appears below the capture the enemy flag thing. And it makes it impossible to actually buy anything because it doesn't tell you which thing you're on and how much money it costs.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't touch me.
How did you fix it?
It seems to be based on how many people are standing in the circle. I don't know.
All right. Are you currently in buying menu at the moment?
No, I'm not.
Let's see. Nope, it's just doing the thing.
Oh, come on. It's hard to work
Is
out how
anyone-
much damage they're going to be doing.
Is anyone buying on the other team at the moment?
No.
Right, I'm gonna try
Can't it
loading up
just
a
switch
Smash
to
game
something else?
instead, because yeah, this one's too buggy.
And I've kind of got it working for me now.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people are able to buy stuff, some
I
people
bought
aren't.
slow enemies, and I want to see if it actually does anything.
7. Let's see if...
Okay.
The cavalry's here.
It also
Oh,
means
that
why
one's-
there's a healing ring on one side, but not the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dylan, if you come here into the green circle, it's a healing ring.
It's very rude.
It's actually really fun to light people on fire. Why isn't this in the game? This is really easy when there's a healing ring like right here.
Ash here.
Okay, it's got the price now,
Where
but it's still
Sonic was
flashing and
corner-
going back to
corner
capture.
you fill in.
Yeah, that's where it becomes a pain in the butt.
So do you have to hold crouch or just press it?
That wasn't fun.
You probably have to hold it long enough for it to recognize it, which I don't know how long
I
that
just
is.
spam it, to be honest. Just
But
to make
also you have to check the cost on the left, because most of the times I tried to buy, I didn't have enough money.
Yeah, it's only
Where's
100
the,
cost.
where is the cost?
Woo! I destroyed a thing. It comes up in the menu in the center. If it's flashing, it's kind of hard to see. It'll go like upgrade, :3, and then a number like 100 or 150 or whatever. At least that's what mine shows.
What I might do is I might load up YouTube and just pull up a 2D. Alright, let's try another mode. This one's too buggy.
Aw.
Annoying.
I really hope that someone sorts it out because that's actually kind of a lot of fun. I like the different effects that you can get on the weapons. Shit, like burning people by shooting them. That was really cool.
In order to be like a proper MOBA, you'd have to figure out like first, like if you had a proper map editor with scripting, then you could do stuff like.
Well, so the workshop is scripting. We just need the map editor.
You could even just have, if you could have full control over bots, you could just
What's
have
this?
some like McCree's running forward.
Cavalry's here.
What is this mode that we're in now?
So this is 2D Overwatch, and to change direction you have to flick your mouse. It's a little weird. Oh, I've got it.
Oh, I see.
Now, where were we?
I see. This is awkward.
It's very awkward. What I did find when I played this the other week is...
use W to move? That's... Oh.
Yeah, because you're moving forward and backwards.
No,
Why am I dead?
Oops.
Fields down.
What I realized when I played this last time is if you choose Brigitte, when you pull out the shield, it goes back into first person.
Oh.
How do I turn around?
Flick your mouse in the direction in the direction you want to turn,
Well, what the fuck?
like a long distance.
Whoa, this is...
Everyone heal up.
Well, you know what I haven't tried? My pulse bomb. Oh wait, that's not my pulse bomb. Oh, actually no, there's no ults. That's a bummer.
I can't do anything!
W to move forward, S to move backwards.
Yeah.
Flick your mouse until you turn around for going in the opposite direction. No, you put me to sleep!
It doesn't work. The flicking
It's
the mouse thing doesn't
super
work half
buggy.
the time.
Maybe you just suck.
Yeah, and you can't aim very well either.
Back in the game.
What a cunt.
Oh, this'll be interesting. No, I wanted to change it.
Heal up here.
Yeah, you have to be very quick when changing heroes. Oh, you just threw yourself over the edge.
I didn't even get the button to
God damn it, I wasn't
hero.
able to...
You just have to press H
Okay, this is,
when you're on the death screen.
Let's try this.
How do I heal?
Oh, I didn't switch fast enough. As far as I know, you don't. No, Dylan! Oh!
Okay, I reckon that they would have to change the backwards of... Why does it keep spawning me facing this fucking direction considering how hard it is to turn around?
Yeah.
No.
Alright, let's try something else.
I mean, I
That
get
has
that these all are
potential.
work in progress, but fucking hell, they're so dodgy.
That has...
Yeah, a lot of them are.
Okay, so
What the fuck is this?
Oh, I've seen this.
Diva Space Battle.
Really?
I'm so confused.
Can't... Do you actually not have any control?
You have a bit of
Just goes
control.
where- It goes where you're currently aiming.
Wow.
Oh, okay. You don't control the momentum, I see.
Can I respawn yet?
I think we win.
Where is everyone? Oh shoot! No!
I think to win.
So, annoyingly, this workshop codes website I'm using, the search auto-completes things that people have searched for, but it doesn't show any results for them.
15 kills to win.
I don't know how to use the rocket.
Yeah, this is very buggy. Alright, let's... Here's a fun one that I've played around with before.
Oh.
Oh, hi Dukel. How's it going?
Welcome to Jungle.
Okay, but what is this mode so I know what picking the hero means?
Oh,
It's
what
not a
the
specific
fuck
mode,
is
it's
this?
third person.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Now, the
This is
only
interesting.
major
Oh.
downside of third person is that the guns don't line up with the crosshair for a lot of heroes.
Oh, this is making me sick.
I just
We'll try a bit of this, and otherwise we'll.
This
Let me
is
see if I
gonna
can
be
sort
fun.
this by like most played. There's freeze tag, but that's no fun. Otherwise, we'll just start looking at what other
Teams haven't
game
been
modes people are running.
randomized. It keeps being me and Sonic against.
Oh yeah, I can swap the teams a bit.
See, Dylan just doesn't want to play with me.
No, I just don't want to be the cause of your rage.
Uh,
At the moment, it's just the game modes,
Cavalry's
to be
here.
honest.
I'm back in the fight.
Oh, this
Okay,
makes
mine
me
is pretty
sick.
accurate.
I mean, if you're playing Junkrat, it's...
yeah, the camera is not designed for
Exactly.
this. There is a delay. Also, I don't know what the numbers on the top left are for. The number of jumps.
It seems it's going up every time I jump.
No,
A high
it's
void
not
division,
how many
yeah.
Jumps, it's how many times you hit spacebar.
Oh, is it
Yeah,
really?
It goes up.
It goes down when
Yeah.
you crouch.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Spam it! Get it down to negatives!
Void Division, this is the workshop where you can basically do whatever you want with the game. Oh, the camera really didn't like me going through that doorway. Yeah, this is nauseating. I don't like this.
It's difficult.
Yeah, let me find something else. PvE
There's no
survival?
place like home.
Oh, no, that one's complicated. Alright, you know what? We're gonna do, Torbjorn Golf in Eichenwald. Because that one wasn't buggy. We just need to remember our
It's just
scores this time.
confusing.
Yeah, Void Division, it is weird.
I was having fun.
I was getting sick. So
Yeah, that's why I switched off it.
The thing is, all of these are seem to be really good ideas, it's just that they're janky as fuck.
Ah, I can't hit you.
I guess I do have to hit the start game button. Alright. So, hold left click to charge how far you're going to throw yourself. And you are the ball. You can hold...
It's not indicating where the hole is. Oh,
you can hold crouch to see where the hole is.
why was I never told that?
Because
Oh, you probably missed it when I initially started the
No
match.
wonder I had so much difficulty that one time.
Well, it's not always obvious where the hole is, even with oh god. No, come on.
Hey, I'm in the lead.
Wait, the hole is that way. Oh, there's a sign in the way. That's nice.
Oh fuck.
oh god,
No, no, I missed.
it's all nothing. See, my
Oh,
total
jeez.
seems to be lining up with my score at the moment.
Taken the lead.
Oh no.
Curious, is your score 17?
My total score is 17, but my current score is 2.
Lost.
Oh,
Current
0
score
now.
is pretty much your.
Oh, that's a nice camera view.
So I believe the score thingy does seem to be pretty accurate. Oop, too far.
Oh no, I'm on the wrong side. Oops. Yeah, Void Division, they did for a couple. Originally when the workshop hit PTR, it only had about 4 predefined modes. Now I think it has 8. Oh no! I shot myself over to the other side.
What are
Oh, balls.
Rip.
You're gonna have a worse score
No, these
than
are
me.
torbs, not balls. That's the whole point of this.
I see what you did there. Oh, it's that room. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, I went too far.
You're kidding me.
Multi.
There we go.
Hey, I'm like way in the lead. Wow.
Damn it.
My main problem is I don't necessarily know my way around the maps.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big thing. Oh, fuck off!
Oh, jeez. I'm not in a good place.
I'm not in...
I'm just gonna throw myself at the wall. Oh.
How do you only have 12?
I have
Magic.
no idea where
Also,
I'm
he didn't throw himself off the cliff and get a max and get stroked out on that round, on that hole.
Oh,
that
true.
He did. Like, we both got 16 to that, so...
Ah, well, that explains it.
Yeah.
So Dylan, you want to go into the how do we explain these maps?
I'm gonna have so many...
the
Go
house.
into the
Into the
pub.
tavern,
Go
man.
into the pub directly in front of you.
This
Now,
one?
now where the
No, to your right. To
Alright,
your right from
to
where
your
you're
right, to
facing.
your right. Yep,
Over there,
that
yeah.
Pub, that pub over there, the one with the sign and the balcony.
It's in that, like, rock hallway off to the side.
Not that way, the other way.
Ah!
You suck at this.
So where the
yeah.
capture point is, go towards there. Yep. And then go into this thing with the fireplace. You want to go upstairs.
Oh, I was here earlier, but it was like... But...
And then there's a break in the wall off to your left. You gotta go to there.
Yep. There you go.
Basically, just the
I have
back
so
way to
many-
the second point.
I have so many points now.
Oh, hi, Base Hunter. Yeah, no. Dylan actually doesn't know the maps. Aha. This is mostly a straight line. Oh, yes. I did it. Welcome to Torbjorn Golf, Base Hunter.
Shit.
There will be none of that mod roasting. I can't spectate
roast.
any particular person. Oh, I was spectating Curious, apparently.
I went from like having a massive lead to being a little bit behind everyone else.
Hmm.
Yeah, it happens.
My phone buzzed and I'm not sure why.
Oh, I know where this one is.
Oh, I know where that one is. Oh,
Oh.
Oh, come on.
Oh no! I'm on the wrong side.
I thought it was upstairs at first.
Oh. I missed it by that much.
Yeah, you and Bloody Gaming did as well.
Yeah, I did the exact same thing.
Okay, that's a relatively easy one. Oh, you guys threw yourselves up the stairs further than I expected. Aha!
Taken the lead.
no!
Lost.
I died.
Rip.
Oh no!
Where are we?
We are in the first defender spawn.
Wait, is this
Huh.
the first defenders?
Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the order.
This is the first time I realized I've been friends with you on Overwatch so long. This is the first time I realized you were a streamer.
Well, there you go. This is going to be really interesting. Screwed that up.
Why are you guys?
Send it!
Oh no! I landed on top.
I tried to do the same thing.
I got on top of there too. Yeah.
I didn't.
You
I
have to
went
thread the
straight to it.
needle pretty dang
Smash.
close to get that.
Note to self: don't go playing golf with Curious, because you seem to be really good at golf.
Absolutely not. I am good at hockey though.
Curious is last.
Taken the lead.
Yep.
Hey, nice shot.
Hang on, how many
But they
holes
do
does...
call me the tailor because
18?
I can
18.
thread the needle. Was you okay there?
Yeah, I was just checking to see if the description mentioned anything about how to check everyone's scores at the end.
Press tab. Because
Well,
my
that-
the score that the scoreboard's showing is currently matching my highest one, but it changes after rounds. So.
Oh,
I'm
interesting.
I'm currently on negative 49, but my total score's 51 because it just hasn't updated.
Why am I so bad at this?
So if you're like
But it
right
should
up
be pretty
against the
accurate.
if you're right up against the surface and you go at it with full power, it sort of like just doesn't know what to do.
You can bounce and slide pretty well, though.
You can bounce and slide pretty well. Everyone bumps into the same wall.
I'm trying to rebound myself off stuff, it's just not working.
Yeah, it
trying
works
to rebound
sometimes.
myself off of that wall into the bubble, it didn't work.
Yeah, I tried the same thing. I just got.
Oh no.
No, I landed on top of it!
Lead lost.
No, I went around it!
I saw
I
that!
did that same thing. I did that same thing. It's okay.
That's a hole in one. Let's do it.
Watch no one get a hole in one. Fuck!
Oh no. Oh no.
Got it.
Oh no.
Okay, I hit it before and it didn't count apparently.
Yeah, I think you have to get on top of it.
Frustration me.
Oh jeez.
No, I hit the bottom of it.
Lost.
Yeah, Base Hunter, if you
Really?
join my personal Discord, you'll be able to DM me. The command for that should be Discord, in the stream chat. Oh, actually, that reminds me.
Did you guys go all the way around?
Ah, straight through.
Oh, okay. It's like it looked like it.
Oh. Oh. Aw.
Oh. I'm disappointed for you.
Same.
Dang it. I should not have gone into this room.
Oh fuck, I followed you.
Good question, Base Hunter. I don't think so.
Who? What question?
He asked if Jess is in my Discord.
She is, but I don't know if that has DMs active. Oh, no!
I mean, you can, Base Hunter, after joining my Discord, you can DM me normally. That should work.
But I know for a fact that Jess is in.
I went off the edge.
Oh, no!
That is a giant oof. Immediately 15.
Oh!
Oh, no! Dylan!
I'm no longer at the bottom.
I'm on the wrong side of the circle.
Yeah, mad, I'm just impressed. How did you do that?
Impressively bad. Mm.
Oh, why is it there?
Oh, no! Oh, no!
No!
I
thought I
like
was
not
being
being last.
clever by jumping for it early, but I didn't realize you would die there. Because I didn't know the map had a...
No, no! I missed. I overshot it.
Oh, that spot's evil.
Oh no, which way?
Hello.
Oh no, shit. Oh, hello.
Where is it?
Down below it.
No! Oh, okay. It teleports us back at least.
It does. But this is gonna suck. All of our scores are gonna be trash. Oh no! Oh no.
There we go.
I don't approve of this.
You guys still trying?
Dang it.
Can't relate.
Mine's lagged out slightly. Ah, that one was bad. It was clever, but it was bad. I'm on negative 100.
You're only two above me.
What was clever but bad?
Placement of circle.
Oh.
And yet the two people who were last got it.
Top 3.
Negative 91 to negative 116.
Play of the game.
Doubt.
Oh yeah, I just land next to it.
Play the game for dying the most efficiently?
Yes.
Look at me not last.
I was first for a while there.
I was never first.
It's a pretty fun mode.
Yeah.
It's favorite so far.
Your goal fun.
Torbjorn Golf. That's RP0X3 for the Eichenwald one. I'm just looking at other modes available. While Sonic is AFK. McCree Hot Potato, I don't think we have enough people for that.
Here's a question. Is there a performance hit for having Flux active while the game's on?
There can be, yes.
Because I have Flux active. And I just realized, hang on, I'm in a game, and I don't normally have it on when I'm playing a game.
Okay, you guys ready for Hot Potato?
Sounds great.
Basically, if you're on fire, you need to shoot someone. And if you're not on fire, avoid the person who's on fire.
Wait, like on fire, or just I'm on
Like
fire?
flaming.
Is it? Oh no.
Absolutely not.
No! Haha! No! Haha! Oh. Oh no!
So, because you now, for what I can only hope is completely understandable reasons, I've now got Hot Potato from the Wiggles stuck in my head.
You're welcome. No! I'm low on health! Not allowed! Oh.
No.
Oh no. No! You were behind the pole! Not fair.
No! Oh, thank goodness. Oof.
Well, you have limited, Oh no! I can't believe you survived that!
Oh.
That was incredible. Or if you ult, it just passes to someone else.
Fuck.
No! No!
The pole strategy is the best so far.
Dang it!
No! My aim is bad!
And I'm like... I just lagged to death. I feel so defeated.
Woohoo!
Just realized
That's my first win, boys!
the oof. I only just realized he's actually saying the oof.
No! No!
This is a great mode.
Fuck.
Not sure how the abilities work, by the way.
E is a super jump, and shift roll is
Regular roll.
Oh, I was still on fire, I didn't realize.
Ah!
Oh my god.
How did none of those hit you?
No, where did you come from?
Not today.
Bad.
I haven't got a single point.
Fuck, God, stop jumping. God damn it. Fuck.
No, not again! I can't believe I got that hit off. Oh, that was so good. No! No, no!
I shot like to the left of you, to the right of you, to the left of you, to the right of you, and it actually hit
What?
you.
You were protected.
How did none of these hitting you?
Fuck.
Oh no! Oh! No! Oh.
Okay, I was right behind you. The person I was shooting at was by the pole.
Me.
I swear I shot right into the back. Still
Curious, it doesn't work if I know you're there.
Yes,
Oh!
it does.
I have no idea how many rounds there are. I think it's timer based.
Let him die.
Oh my god, you survived?
No. I like that it says oof.
Oh! Oh no! No! Every single time. Hello, hello. I don't know how delayed Facebook chat is, but I see you there. Oh no! This also requires a bit of focus. No, not again! You died! You died in midair.
No! I shot 2 people. They were both protected.
Fucking cunt. Why would you do that?
Oh no! Oh no! No! Which is why it started you off on fire first. Yeah, this is a game with a lot of dying. It's called Hot Potato. And basically, if you're on fire, your health goes down. If your health hits 0, you die. And the potato gets passed to someone else. Oh no. Woohoo!
Piece of shit.
Oh no.
When you died, does it go down a point?
I don't I would hope not.
Accidentally tabbed out. Is that my fault?
No.
I'm such an awful shot.
Same.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. What I need to do is find the Hammond Racing game mode.
Oh, that sounds fun. I got 1 point.
Kart controls Petra Race.
Oh.
Ah, Sonic's back. Back to lobby.
Aw.
So that is a code we should definitely remember, because that is actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Amazing.
I'm going to post that in my Discord. And now we're going to try Hammond Racing.
Ooh.
I just need to find it. Of course, the first video I find doesn't have the codes in the description. That's useful.
Oh, that reminds me of what happened the other day. Where I forgot the key combination for the emoji picker on Windows 10. So
Oh, yeah.
I search Win 10 emoji picker. Heaps of results that will tell me what the shortcut is, but not in any of the short descriptions that show in the Google search results.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I mean, all I wanted to do was remember that it was like, what, win semicolon or win
Windot.
period, depending. See, win dot didn't work for me in that situation, but win semicolon did.
Looks like this is team-based.
But yeah, so I all I wanted to know was that key combination, but none of the results told me it.
I assume we're picking Hammond.
I assume so.
Oh. Were we meant to pick
This is
him?
going to be difficult for you here, Kiri.
I don't know how this is supposed to work. This one doesn't seem very good. That's the vibe I'm getting. Yeah, this one is bad.
Oh, I think I get it.
My name is Nick.
Okay, so nobody takes damage.
Of course, another video with no codes.
They knock back. You knock each other back. What are these value? Oh.
Okay, there's a goal at the end. We just gotta reach into the goal. Which somehow slows time?
Hammond IO. Win condition, first person you shooting in this mode.
Oh.
Why are all of these so complicated? I don't like this. The computer's struggling too.
I was first.
Yeah.
I got a point.
Non-Hammond.
And there's no one in the comments asking for the codes, of course. There we go. Found one with a better code.
I'm just saying, I got first, so I won.
was third.
Traveling to Dorado.
It might
Let's
have been
try
only
this.
one race, but I won. Oh,
That's more like it. See, this is proper racing. Oh god. I screwed up. Oh no, did someone miss a checkpoint?
Yes. There you go.
How did you do this in 17 seconds? Aha! I did it in 16.
Just like that.
What? Oh.
I struggle with some of these turns. What I need to start doing is jumping. Oh no, I missed the checkpoint! Oh no, Sonic has the best time! At 15 seconds! No, it's just under 16. Damn. Welcome Anarchy, I am in Melbourne. Yeah, I need to stop going that way. It hurts my time badly.
This is the way I went.
Oh, I got stuck on the doorway.
Oh, I missed the... I wish there was a quick button to restart. Like, you know you missed the checkpoint, so there's no reason.
You can press E.
Oh, you can?
Oh yeah, usability 2 to resurrect. That makes sense. Oh no, someone... Who was that? You bumped me off. Oh yeah, Anarchy. Yeah, Melbourne's nice. I've now been to Sydney once, and I was in... I've been to Queensland in general once as well. Sonic, you've still got the best time. This is not fair. Nah, Wait, I missed a checkpoint.
It said I missed the checkpoint, but at the time, I hit the checkpoint.
You missed it by, that much?
No, but it said checkpoint.
Nope, I'm not gonna make this. Damn. Oh yeah, enjoying Sydney, Anarchy? No! I almost had that.
15.1.
Hey, 18 seconds.
I screwed up that last turn. Yes, it is warmer. I like warmer. Oh no. Oh. Nice. 15.04. Oh damn. Skill Bro, welcome to the order. Thanks for the follow. I screwed that up.
Man, I can't get more than like 18.
Yeah, it's not easy. Oh, I've screwed up. Yeah. Ah, no. I mean, the idea is that you're supposed to... Oh, no. You're supposed to go over. This is tiring. Ah, I missed the checkpoint. What other modes have we got? Places in Melbourne. Not really. It's not a great place to visit.
Melbourne. As someone who visited Melbourne can attest.
What was that? Sorry, Dylan?
No offense. Sorry?
Interesting for people in...
What?
You cut out when you earlier were trying to say what you either did or didn't like.
No, you just said Melbourne isn't a great place to visit, and I said as someone who visited Melbourne can attest.
Ah. Yeah. Is there a code for the Lucio rollout game? But I can't be bothered racing again. Yeah, my computer is lagging. This is not fun.
My name is...
Anarchy though, if you haven't already, Schnitz is really good. There is a good one outside of Melbourne Central. The one in Melbourne Central is bad because the food is usually cold.
Is that the one we went to?
Yeah.
Can't confirm.
I no longer recommend that one. I've gone there enough times where I've gone... The one in Crown is also really bad. They literally gave us cold schnitzel last time. Whack-a-mole... Okay.
I'm gonna take that one there, Sonic.
Motherfucker.
Oh yeah, we could try volleyball in Overwatch.
Oh.
Who's winning? Oh, 14.72.
I got a 17. That's my best.
Oh, I can beat that. I had to.
Yeah, Anarchy, the thing is, the only difference is we're in a hotter area on the other side of the planet. There's nothing special about, well, Melbourne especially, but Australia in general does have some nice things.
Some.
I mean, I'm pretty easy to find online, so that doesn't surprise me at all. Alright, I'll give you guys another, like, 20 seconds, and then I'll load up a different game mode.
I guess I have to waste 20 seconds.
Sonic's given up.
Ah, I whiffed it. Off you.
Oh, hi, Tim. No, Vegemite is not a good thing.
Get out of town. Vegemite is delicious.
No, it's not.
It's
I'm a
not.
trained chef. I know it's not.
Oh fuck.
Okay. So this is volleyball. Soldier can hit further. Genji can double jump. First to 10 wins. So I am going to spectate so that the teams are balanced.
Traveling to arrival.
And then we're going to restart this.
I have 1 minute.
Vegemite and Marmite are both garbage. Like,
Thank you.
I will fucking fight you.
Now, I
It's not
assume...
our fault, it's nasty.
I have to start the game, yeah?
do you have to... What?
Ready for battle.
What?
I don't get it.
You gotta
I
boop
don't
it.
get it.
I don't even think we have heroes.
No,
You
where
can't, you
did we
can't
go?
double hit it.
You're supposed to have heroes.
Yeah, we selected. We had them before, and then they disappeared.
How are we actually meant to hit it
Like that.
though?
Hang on, let me restart.
Welcome to reality.
Marmite and Vegemite are both garbage.
Okay, I'm going to start the game mode. Be ready to pick your heroes.
Ready for battle.
This shit's broken.
And we're gone.
Hey, I scored a point.
Okay, well... Oh, and Curious's internet is gone. Well... This doesn't work. What if it's bugged out because I'm a spectator? Let me
Yeah, try
Let me
to
move.
see what happens.
myself in.
Welcome to reality.
I'm still in the fine.
We're all soldiers.
I'm just...
Yeah, I mean,
Hi, Matt.
Hello.
yeah, like I can still change heroes and shit. But I can't
Yeah,
do
I think we're
anything.
still here, just we're not there. I think we're still in our spawn, I'd say.
Maybe
Payload?
maybe I am not supposed to start the game, just run it in
Yeah, maybe.
Welcome to reality.
Yeah, Anarchy, the public transport is definitely really good.
We're all soldiers now.
Aha.
Meh.
Oh!
Oh no.
Yes!
I mean, I swear I
Yeah,
hit.
I thought that. Oh no!
Dang it, didn't get there in time.
Hmm.
I wonder if I should stay very close. To the other
Oh fuck! I jumped forward without meaning to.
I can double jump, so I'll stay back. Matt.
This isn't paying attention.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, Anarchy, funny you mentioned Cloudflare. I actually, moved my,
Oh come on!
Hey,
the DNS for my websites to it. Oh jeez.
Yeah, it can be difficult sometimes to actually hit it.
Oh, really, I moved my name servers too, and No, no!
No.
Yes! Oh! Oh no. No.
Wait, you can just hit it as many times as you want?
I think it's up to 3 times. Oh.
Oh, okay, this is suddenly amazing.
Oh no.
Matt.
I ran the wrong way, I'm sorry.
Oh no! I emoted! Shit!
No sitting! Oh no!
Nice.
Oh,
Woohoo!
Nice.
I kind of wish, like, I don't know, it can be difficult to fuck. It can be difficult to see at times, but this is actually one of the better ones.
Yeah. It takes some getting used to.
Especially the camera.
Yeah, it's... Oh.
Oh.
Teammate 2, next point wins. Oh, you guys are about to win this. This is not fair. No, no, I missed it!
I got it. Oh no,
No, you don't.
Oh no.
Oh god!
We do not do that here.
Oh no!
Oh. Okay, like, okay, there are some bits of contact where it's like, I feel as though that should have hit. Like, you get that moment a bunch, but once you figure out where the hitbox actually is, it works.
See that? I thought I should have hit it, but I didn't. Also, why was that Wizards playing the game? He was like AFK.
I'm just that good. Clearly, I'm just that good.
I don't know if I'm supposed to just start a new game or just wait.
I don't know.
Welcome to Rialto.
We're all.
I have spotted the enemy.
Oh, hi, Sonic.
Oh.
Oh. Oh.
No, I keep doing that. No worries, Base Hunter. Thanks for hanging out. I'll definitely check out that message later.
What are you looking at? What are you looking at? What are you looking
Just keep sending it to your side. Oh.
Yeah, there is definitely something weird with the collision box. Oh, how many hits was that?
If you double jump when you're hitting it, you hit it twice.
Oh no.
Oh, come on.
Hey, 3 for 3. It's only fair.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you. Oh, the luck!
Oh no.
Save!
Saved.
Oh, nice.
I don't go.
Oh.
I keep running while jumping, and it ruins.
What? Oh, because you joined the game. Oh, that worked.
Oh no.
Now we have a third.
No, no. Who can
timeout.
I invite to balance this out?
Nice.
Enemy contact.
Oh no!
Oh, I couldn't get
hit
that
the
quick
net.
enough.
Yeah, the stun when you hit the net is disorienting. Oh no.
Oh no! I thought that was gonna drop a bit earlier.
Oh, nice. No. No!
See, why couldn't they use this little ball for dodgeball? That would have been perfect.
Oh yeah, we should play that again though.
Oh.
Oh, no! No!
What?
Oh, balls.
What? Oh, no. Lob it.
When in doubt, lob it.
Nice. Oh, that hit.
Bullshit.
I agree.
There we go. It's hard to get momentum on it.
Hello there, welcome.
Oh, this game is great. Oh,
Oh,
nice.
We're getting the hang of it now.
Oh, this mode is the best.
I'm stunned.
Enemy sighted.
Woo!
Oh,
Nice
balls.
shot.
Nice set.
Nice shot.
We've got 3 people and we're still losing.
I totally thought I was gonna get that.
Yes.
Nice.
No! Oh!
On our side. That's such a rip.
Oh, I used to not be so loud.
That's a lot of fun, holy crap.
Oh, that's great.
Now, if we can get a 6th, I'll load us into dodgeball instead.
I'll ask. Give me 2 seconds.
Oh, that was great.
Oh no.
Yeah, she had to
Eyes up.
I think she joined on me, not knowing what was going on.
Ah.
Okay.
Fair enough.
We,
Alright.
you know.
2v2 dodgeball, let's do it.
I was enjoying volleyball.
Alright, let's do one more round then. What?
Welcome to Rialto.
We're all.
Oh god, I'm on the other side. This is gonna be weird.
No, I keep doing that.
Oh, what?
Really?
No, I almost got it.
Oh god. I don't
No,
know.
yes.
I got it.
No. Oh no!
Nice.
The camera couldn't move fast enough to follow the ball.
I got it. Oh, I so thought I had that.
What?
It's a bit janky at times, I suppose, but...
Oh, balls. Oh no, that worked.
Oh, I so thought you had that.
I mean, that thing gave me a hit. It's hit
Yeah,
again.
that should have been a hit.
You went straight through that, yeah.
I think it's slightly offset right now. Yeah. There's something
Yeah.
something off. Oh no! Whoa! What was that?
I intercepted it.
You both went through it. Oh, nice catch.
Just failing, Jesus.
Sonic, you just stood there.
Oh, yeah,
This is where I predict it will go. No! Oh,
They have that
Sometimes
short
just
mode.
standing there just to get that initial like setup is what you need to do. Woo! Ah. Oh god! No,
Nice.
No, no.
no! Oh no!
How was it?
That's
Oh, let's save.
Dig set spike.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I think it's slightly offset to the left right now. Nice.
Nice.
Oh, okay, I thought that was... That was a long rally, though.
Oh, no.
Just right off the bat.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
I feel like I pushed that with, like, the back of my foot.
Yeah, that's what I thought saw as well.
That mode is genuinely amazing.
It's actually a lot of fun.
That's pretty good.
Should we go one more round then?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Is also, are you shuffling the players or is it doing it automatically?
I'm doing that manually.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
I have to manually find game codes, put them in, and start the game.
No, I meant in terms of the team.
Oh no, the team is automatic. Oof. But I am glad it's shuffling it a bit.
Basically, I'm just trying to be a force to reckon with, like, right at the yeah.
And it's working.
We'll get there eventually.
Oh no.
Dig set spike.
Yeah, I'm trying. Oh, I thought you had that, so I left it.
Nice. No, we both missed it.
To hit it. Oh yeah, I'm actually noticing the difference in Soldier hitting it over Genji.
Oh yeah.
Well, Soldier also can run further or faster, I think.
Maybe.
Nice!
No! How did you catch that?
By Sonic. Sonic, very
I was
nice
sitting
save.
back waiting for it. No! Kill him so close!
Why does it keep sending it to your side?
Because we win. Oh god. Must block.
No, no, I was stunned!
Oh.
No, balls.
Oh, okay, I thought I had that. My bad.
What a play.
It seems like, it sends it to the... No, usually it sends it to... I don't actually know where it's sending it at this point. No shit, Genji!
You're the boss.
Problem is that when the ball goes that far,
Oh, nice!
when the ball goes that far, you just can't see where you are anymore.
Yeah, it's hard.
Nice.
Oh, nice catch! No, no, I missed it!
Hey, you can still put sprays on the wall. Oh, I thought you had that.
But can
Yeah,
you
you're
catch
right.
the ball?
Okay, I thought I had that. I'm bad at this apparently.
What are you looking at?
I got it.
Oh,
Sorry, I keep stealing it from you.
that's
What are
alright.
they using?
I'd rather someone get it in case I miss.
Oh,
Sonic.
nice save.
Oh, yes!
Sonic, you're really good at those long balls. Hey.
Cheers.
We need to just lob it even further.
No, or just lob it closer because apparently I missed them.
And that one.
Knows? My bad.
And that one.
Okay, yeah, that's
Match point.
I literally threw that to Sonic. The sound effects are nice too.
Oh.
Catch it.
No, I was stunned.
You guys save that.
Did it hit you in midair there, Dylan? No! Dylan, get it! No!
the reflect.
Yeah, there is a big speed difference between Genji and Soldier.
Yeah, for sure.
But I bet the double jump on Genji does help. Oh no, I missed.
It does,
Lying on it.
like Genji's
You
definitely
kinda
more
want
of a
that.
setup for it. As long as you can hit it once, if you hit it twice, it starts to get a bit of movement on it.
Nice.
God damn it.
Oh, it's been match point for
Oh,
so
just-
long.
I didn't have enough momentum.
Oh, that was close.
It was frighteningly close.
All three of us got stunned.
No!
Hey!
Excellent.
Enemy sighted.
I'm not sure what just happened.
No!
Oh, we're both on match point.
there. Deuce.
I can't believe I saved that!
Oh no! That was such a good run.
It
We
was.
had the comeback.
For so long.
That's actually a lot of fun. Holy crap!
I think we found the best mode.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
Victory.
Look at that teamwork.
Epic.
Alright.
Victory.
What?
Epic victory, apparently.
It was pretty epic.
I'm probably.
I mean, there's also...
Legendary. Victory.
Oh wait, you could just make them happen. That's rude.
Prepare for
I'm gonna-
operations.
I'm probably gonna head out now because it's a bit late and
No worries, thanks for joining us.
be so loud.
Fair enough, man.
I should probably not be so loud.
That's fair.
It's kind of hard. It's hard not to be.
Those are such a great games. See everyone though.
Catch up, man.
See you.
Defeat. Greetings, Agent.
So... With a smaller group... Oh yeah, this one's fun. You move with mouse 2 and crouch.
Oh.
Now
Let's see if this is any good.
What?
prepare for battle. Select your hero.
Have you guys seen the one where Bastion shoots out a Torbjorn and Torbjorn acts as a missile that you
I
can
have.
guide with your mouse?
It's a brilliant idea.
Right?
So go into sentry and then hold right click.
Oh, and his little jump.
See, the thing is, I can't do that because my go into sentry is right click.
Oh. I wonder if shift would work?
Just do whatever your
That's
heal button is
alright.
then. Yeah, whatever your heal
is
button is.
Is it whatever
Yeah.
the heal button is?
I
Ah.
assume.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, and the ultimate ability is apparently aimbot. So.
What? What? Also, I did like no damage to you.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
No.
Do you heal when you're shooting?
I think you do.
Oh.
No one ever expects the flying Bastion turret. I think you either heal when you get a kill, or you heal extremely quickly outside of battle.
Yeah.
This is very strange.
Oh, come on, Glenn!
Ah.
Again,
All I know
sorry.
is that you can 100% go on the roof.
Oh. Yeah, you definitely heal when you get a kill.
I was not winning that one. Yeah, you're better than I am.
Woo!
That was very close.
Oh, come on.
Oh no. You just mowed me
I
down.
got sandwiched. By the way, apparently health packs work.
Apparently, yeah.
So stand on them.
Whee! I got this shit! Don't shoot me for a moment. You can go backwards, apparently.
How did you go backwards?
Secret. I'm glad that I know that now, though.
Oh.
I think I was riding you.
What's with the whole ultimate ability thing?
Don't know. It takes a while to get it, apparently.
Oh. Oh, I think I see what it is.
Void of Vision, there isn't much that I've been listening to.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure how I did it, but I had 12.
Nothing stands out. So yeah, control goes backwards.
Nope. Oh yeah, dude, I know I ended up telling you guys that.
Oh no, Sonic! Just came out of nowhere.
You were still low health because I got the kill for because I got the kill for Wiz. Damn it.
I mean, I am losing terribly.
Ah, you sneaky little fuck!
Oh no!
Surprise.
See, that's why I don't like bloody free for all though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found your secret play hole.
Not like this.
Fuck, nice tracking, dude. Jesus.
That was the ultimate ability, I think.
What? Oh, I didn't get that.
How
I
are you
just
guys
got
getting the
health.
ultimate?
So
I don't know.
there's a number next to the ultimate ability text at the top. If that hits 100, you can hit Q, and it gives you aimbot.
Oh, I've had that at 100 for literally the whole game.
Ah, is that what that does? Because like you also get more health,
Oh really?
which you just used, didn't you? Again? Because there was no way I should have lost that.
Oh no.
What the?
Oh, the aimbot.
What the fuck?
Aimbot
I
dot.
thought you kept moving. Oh, yeah, no, I got stuck on you.
Alright, should we see what other modes people are playing right now? Instead of me hosting this?
I can't.
You guys
Yeah,
are
that's a
freaking matched
proper-
for kills.
That's a proper aimbot. Holy crap.
I know.
Figuring it out. Yeah, it is.
Like, I didn't realize that's like a proper hack aimbot. Like, you could. Yeah,
Brute
Jesus.
balls.
I was expecting it to be like, you know. Not that. I was expecting it to be like a soldier aimbot kind of thing, but no, it's like. It snaps on you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, you could see that.
Fucking hacks. Report.
Okay. Game browser.
Like, one or two more things and then I'm gonna head off.
All I know for certain this event is the hamster dance is pretty good. Pretty good.
Hmm. Okay, how about Frogger?
Oh god, yeah right.
I mean,
I'm gonna actually have to run through some arcade at some point and earn myself some.
Dodge the cars and reach the end of the tunnel to advance to the next hero. The first who completes all heroes wins.
Oh god, do we have abilities and shit?
Arriving at Oasis City Center.
Oh, balls. This is gonna suck. Oh no!
Oh, I get it! I didn't realize you've got to go backwards. Like, I wasn't paying attention.
You can just ride in the cars as
Yep,
mate.
that's exactly what I just did.
No, no, I missed it.
Ah, damn.
No, no, Genji killed me. That's not fair.
Oh, really? You can't ride on the cars anymore? You just die unless you get a bubble or something. I didn't know that. Ah, okay, my bubble went down. Whoops.
Oh no, Farah's trying to kill us.
Fuck!
Woohoo! I'm now May.
Fighting for.
Together, we are strong.
Oh no.
I feel like are we moving slower than normal?
Yes.
Oh, well, that would.
Either that or walking backwards is no, it's slower in general. Oh jeez. Oh no.
A lot of this feels like it's just luck, to be honest.
Yeah, it is. Moving so
Bappo
slow,
moves really
Azaria.
fast. But Bappo moves so fast you don't even actually have to dodge the cars.
Yeah, I noticed that with Bap as well.
By the way, I don't think his invulnerability field works against cars.
I wouldn't expect it to. They're designed to do like billions of damage in one hit.
Also, why is Fire a character? That's just cheating, to be honest.
I mean, May was pretty good.
Oh.
No dying on my watch.
Oh, you're right. As Baptiste, you don't even have to worry about it.
No. You could just strafe between them very quickly.
Ball's really boring, unfortunately.
Oh, fuck off. You can't double jump over a car unless your timing is, like, perfect. I did not mean to kill that guy.
That was me.
No, no.
I was too. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh, McCree stunned me. No.
Fuck. Oh, fuck off, McCree, you cunt! Don't fucking ruin everyone else's shit. That's all he's doing. All he's doing is just ruining everyone else's game like a fuckwit.
Oh, you just stuck.
Yeah, he's just stunning people. Because he's a fucking cock.
Oh no, those cars would not have worked.
Synced up and they don't come at different times.
Oh no. Okay, this got bad real fast.
The battle continues.
Oh.
The cars ended up coming into a very predictable pattern. Okay, Lucio is stupidly easy, just saying. You can almost outrun the cars.
Yeah.
What? That didn't even fucking hit me!
Yeah, I'm getting that issue with Genji. Oh.
I was just reflecting at the cars with Genji.
Does that... Oh, fuck off!
Oh, that does work. I see. I feel like
Okay,
Genji's hitbox on the right is wrong.
This is fucked. The hitbox on Hammond to these cars is just wrong.
Yeah, Hammond was. I just had to go really slow.
I will not waste this chance.
Well, I'm trying to, but apparently everyone wants to blow me up. Process a bunch of dicks.
Mecha activated.
Oh my god, Sombra's super easy. She's faster than the cars in Invis.
Fuck. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Whoops, I blinked off the edge. So, there we go. I hit a car that I didn't die, which was weird. So
No,
why is
McCree
he
stunned me.
playing as McCree and just fucking everyone? That's what I want to know.
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah, Sombra is so easy. You just literally outrun a car.
Invis, she's the.
Sorry.
No, no! 2 cars! Lined up perfectly.
Why? I don't get it. Why are some of the heroes so easy?
Poor balancing.
Mostly.
Damn it, I tried to stun a car. I accidentally... Oh, you killed someone. Never mind, it wasn't me.
Aw. I thought I could outrun it.
That's right. For a moment, I thought you were invulnerable while rolling.
Oh, that's really easy.
Yeah, Junkrat's also really easy.
Yeah. McCree's quite difficult. Really, Tracer's bad? I did her once I remember how the fuck to play Tracer.
Tracer was easy. Oh jeez.
Then
Oh,
there
no.
are times where there were like 3 cars, you know, side by
Yeah.
side, you physically cannot dodge them as McCree.
Oh!
Like that, like, I just didn't have enough time to do anything.
Yeah.
Some of these are just like, really, you just gotta get lucky.
Should we try another mode then?
Oh, fuck
What hero you guys
off!
up to?
Come on, McCree.
Oh, Ryan's helping.
Me, Wiz.
Thanks. Oh no.
You're welcome.
Also, some
Oh no! The car hit me right as I was about to reach it. I give up.
Hey! Oh god, Anna! Okay, Anna's actually quite fast.
Yeah, Anna's fine, I thought.
Monkey? I like how. Oh, okay, the monkey.
Yeah, Monkey wasn't too.
Really? Someone's trying to fucking interrupt us again. Okay, monkey, you might as well not pop off actually faster without it.
Sonic, hi!
Someone with me!
No!
Oh god!
The car hit us right at the end there.
Come with me
Oh.
again! Oh god! I'm gonna keep doing it. It's really
Oh,
fun,
that-
honestly.
Goddamn Farrah dick.
You don't go faster than the car though, that's hilarious.
Nah, you've got to time yourself really well. Or die and fall off the edge like I did.
Wait, the doofus landed on the car.
Oh, someone won.
That's horrible.
I was up if it was first to 30.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Some of the heroes are fine, they're underbalanced, like... Some
Well, they need to get rid of like McCree's stun, for example.
Yeah, I don't even understand. I understand you can kind of use it to get people to stop and everything, but it's just, it's unfair.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, we struggled because we got in halfway through when everyone else was like pretty far.
Also true, yeah.
Yeah, no, McCree was really slow, so he was just difficult to do in general, and then you get people being dicks about it, so, you know. Yes, you know,
I
it's a
mean,
win.
yeah, they're stopping them getting ahead of you, which is...
I mean, Ryan's don't really bother me because there's nothing to run you into. He'll just charge you and take you with him.
Here's one. Infinity Stones. Gather the Infinity Stones, then snap.
seen that.
Soul Stone, life regeneration. Time Stone, move speed. Space Stone, gravity reduction. Mind Stone, damage reduction. Reality Stone, AoE damage. Power Stone, damage increase.
So let me guess, you're playing as Doomfist?
I don't know.
Like, seriously, when are Blizz gonna team up with Marvel and release a Thanos skin for Doomfist? Like, if you want to make money, that's how you make money. He's already got the gauntlet. And it's actually not on the appropriate hand, because I'm pretty sure I've used it on his left. Still. Depends on which movie you watch.
I mean, it doesn't feel like it's that far off Disney buying Blizzard and Activision. They're buying everything.
Okay, how about this one? Two heroes at once. Press interact to switch between the two heroes.
Oh yeah, this is pretty good. This is pretty great. So you can do some crazy stuff like playing Ryan and Zar. You build your ultimate as Ryan with a couple of swings, and then you can get grabs every couple.
Oh,
of
it's full though.
Yeah.
Also, my frame rate is at 36.
So do you just choose two heroes, then you can just switch them whenever?
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
So you can play like Genji and Hanzo. Every time they're far away, you switch out to Hanzo, and then for close-up stuff, you go Genji.
Interesting.
So your ultimate charge is shared, but using it on one uses it for the other.
Or in this case, be Bastion and just sit on the payload.
Well, that yeah.
Oh, and if you hack someone, you can see
But
who else they're playing.
Yeah. So
Oh, that's
Sim
clever.
Bastion, so he's teleporting himself around Sebastian up it.
This is actually this is a really good idea.
Yeah, you can make it real busted depending on your pick. Like if you're someone that you play one hero that can build ult real fast.
Yeah.
Tracer Brigida best combo.
Pretty much
Kinda,
someone
even
and
like
Zarya.
Dude, look how fast Widow builds up. Yeah,
True.
and then you go like Zarya
Ana,
or...
like Ana would probably be another good one. She builds
Yeah.
up really fast.
I just like the Ryan Zarya combo because you build your ult with Ryan, go for the big grab, then swing back into it with Ryan and build up another grab.
Yeah, fair enough.
There actually aren't a lot of servers right now.
Yeah, okay. The workshop was, I imagine, a lot more involved in America. Like NA servers would be a lot more.
Yeah, my problem with the thing in general is you can't set up a server and leave it there. You have to basically continue hosting it.
Nah,
What I'm hoping for is that they do, say, what Dota did, and then really popular workshop things. Maybe they put up some dedicated service for them and some Blizzard.
Well, I think that would be the eventual goal. Or at least stick them in arcade, you know?
Yeah. Although then again, people have been asking for just give us all the arcade modes to let us choose from.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to show you guys one last thing if you're heading off soon, Sonic.
Yeah, this will probably be my last one. I will have to try that hero switchy one again though, because that is actually really fucking cool. I really like that idea.
I wonder what happens if you
Traveling to Havana.
I don't know what's going on.
Okay, so the way this one works is you can hit interact to teleport forward. Sonic, come back here. Let me show you something. So if you, for example, wanted to create your own map...
Oh, I just fell through the map.
Yeah, that's one thing you can do. But what you can do is, for example, go through this wall by interacting with it.
Oh.
And now you're in an area that's not part of the, normal map. And you could set up a minigame here, for example.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's actually really cool. It's the closest to map editor we've got.
Pretty much. Now, the thing is, there are buildings that don't have collisions. Oh. Oh, I see. I see.
What around while sitting?
Oh, ooh, hang on. Yeah.
Oh, fell through the floor.
Yeah, this is why I think Farah is probably better for this. Because then you can fly up.
I just have a reset button, literally. I kind of want to play hide and seek.
But names... Oh, the name frames are on. Can you turn those off?
You might be able to.
I don't know.
So any maps you guys would like to quickly explore?
Yeah, not particularly.
Isn't Ilios? Which one? No, it's not Ilios.
But the problem is, if you turn names off, then I could just do shit like... Oh, wait, no, that one doesn't.
Pretty sure Nepal is huge, isn't it? Like...
Yeah.
Oh man, I never realized how janky the cities get. If you go close to these cities, it becomes way less detailed.
Oh yeah, they're not rendered. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's yeah. I would do the same thing if I was doing artwork that was never going to get seen. You do the basic stuff.
Oh, my beacon got destroyed. What the fuck?
Yeah, the edges of the cities can be a bit wonky. Because again, nobody's going to see it theoretically.
Yeah.
So which map did you want to go see?
I'm pretty sure it's Nepal. It's one of the big.
Oop, fell through the map.
Nepal.
Farah reporting.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because like some of the more detailed maps are actually further away. It's just they're taller of the build.
Traveling to Nepal.
So did Liz create this, or did someone make it?
No, this is this is someone's code that the script is literally teleport forward.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, here we go. So if we can get through the skybox, I think these are the other levels up here.
Oh yeah. That's how most of the 3CP maps work. Is that they're all in the same OGs. I died.
That's the bottom floor of the other. Oh, yep.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to go outside the mountain and then go up.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see them like in the space that they've made. Just all on the side of the same mountain, which you wouldn't really realize otherwise.
Oh no.
I don't know where to go.
Just straight up.
Well, Skybox is blocking
Don't
us.
go inside the mountain. No. Yeah. So look where I am. I just went straight up ahead of on top of Sonicson.
Okay.
How? It's not letting me go up any further.
Oh, maybe go inside the wall a touch and then. Oh, there it is there. Now I've got to figure out how I do it.
Oh yeah. There's a no, actually, hang on. Where am I? Yeah.
I did it some.
I keep hitting the skybox with the other spawns. Well, the death box.
If I restart the match, it might put us in a higher level, and then we can actually go down instead of up.
Traveling to Nepal.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Farah reporting.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
this
this
is
is where
top.
we were just trying to get to.
Yeah, this is the very. Yeah, I've never
I
realized
can
the.
see shrine.
Yeah, I've never realized that like the direct where they were, that they're all on the same mountain.
Yeah, you can see all
Wow.
all three from
They're
here.
literally just, yeah, they're just layered between each other.
You can do something similar with Busan. You can actually see the other maps from each one.
Yeah, it's weird
You
to
could
be
almost see
far enough
these
away
maps
from.
from. I don't know. I feel like you could almost see these maps from the dropships, like when you're actually in game.
Yeah, the angles. What I do like is you can see the dropships on all three levels.
Yeah. So I hit a skybox.
See, I saw someone doing this in a game on It was before the workshop, but they were in a game on Junkertown, and they had Farah sitting above the skybox, so she couldn't actually hit, but the rockets were still raining down.
How far out do you reckon I can go before the game just kills me or breaks?
Pretty far out.
I know with Sims turrets can go all the way out to like until they drop off distance-wise.
I hit a wall.
Yeah, this would be a
There's a
2D
wall.
thing.
Like, I can't actually even teleport through this wall.
Yeah, it would be outside the box of the game. This would be the painted on effect on the wall.
Why would they create something this big if... I don't know. I don't understand design, so, you know.
Could be the parameters of the skybox they were using. Distance creates depth, and then you get detail, even though it doesn't have to be very detailed close up.
Oh, but you can still shoot through this. It does explode over time, but...
Yeah, it's weird to be far enough away from something with Farah for her rockets to explode midair. There's not really any sight lines in the game that are long enough for that.
No, not at all. And even then, usually they go out a distance so you'd actually be able to see them.
Oh, if you come where I am, you can actually, and you look in this direction, you can actually see where the mountains are 2D.
Oh, yeah, no. Where I am, I can see them as well. Because I'm, like, sort of above them.
Oh yeah, you're just above me.
Yeah.
See that big arc underneath the mountains over to, I guess, the left?
Hey, what?
There's
the
like
hell?
a real big visible, like just nothing after that.
Yeah. I feel like I'm not actually getting any higher, but I think I am. I'm not too sure at this point.
Yeah, the sense of scale really screws with you at that point.
Yeah, I'm not able to catch you, so you're still getting higher.
Oh, that's good.
See, the real question is, how long does it take to hit the ground from up here?
Those rockets are getting closer though. I don't think I'm going anywhere anymore.
Yeah, I think I'm starting to catch you.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you've hit the roof.
Hello.
Ooh, Goldfire. Oh, I'm gonna drop and see how long it takes me to die.
Wonder if we can get over to on top of Wiz before we drop.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I need to make my
Oh, that's where you are. I was like, I don't see your names, and then I looked up.
we're at the top. My interact button is middle mouse click, so it's really hard to just spam it.
Yeah, mine is tilde, which is the one above tab. Because my F is thanks, and that's the default interact key.
Mine's melee, so. I should have just changed it as mouse scroll. It would have been so much easier.
Alright, I think I'm directly above Wiz.
Almost. No, you're too far out. I think. Oh no, you might. Maybe.
Real hard to tell from this high.
Maybe? I don't know.
No, you guys are out too far now. Or in too far, I think.
Whoever lands closest, without touching any keys, wins.
Okay, I'm not moving.
Alright. You got your spot, Sonic?
Yep.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, letting go.
I'm looking directly up.
Oh god, I'm moving at the same pace as my rockets. That's so weird.
Yeah, this is we're going fast.
Terminal velocity, I guess, except they rockets.
Oh, I'm gonna land off the map.
Yeah, I just realized you would.
Oh, I'm big time off the map.
I'm gonna land. Oh, okay. Hey, I actually landed.
I think you win.
I hit the skybox. I don't know about
Oh,
that.
I'm not dead. I'm falling down onto Shrine. I'm on Shrine.
Well, I hit the skybox. I probably would have landed about there-ish, you reckon? From where I hit the skybox?
Yeah, something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I landed on the skybox, so, you know.
Yeah, that's a win.
But I'd still say it's pretty close.
Oh, that looks cool.
Wait, can I just teleport my way in? No, I'm still... OP position?
Yeah, that's the challenge of the skybox. You'd need a separate teleport that sends you up and down. This one only sends you forward.
Oh,
We're on opposite ends of the skybox.
So close, yet so far.
How cool does this map look from this angle, though?
Oh, it really does. Like, from straight down, it looks really cool.
We're in the rockets, what?
They only stop them from one side. The walls.
Wait, really?
So if you come...
Oh yeah, you're right. There's no collision up top. My guess is because this inside bit is actually accessible in-game. normally. So they went, okay, we need to have some level of collision here. But the roof...
Yeah, but the thing is, you'd think with this wall, it would collide with the inside of, well, from...
No. Collision boxes are weird that way.
Directional collision.
I'm gonna head off. This has been amusing. I like the workshop, and I'm curious to see where it goes.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
I really
Real
want
good
to
for the
try that
game.
MMO thing out again. It's just they've got to bloody fix it.
Yeah.
Like once that's fixed, I reckon that'd actually be a bit of fun. I can't spray any of the walls up here because they don't exist. I'm upset. Alright, have a good one, guys.
So yeah, thanks for playing. Alright, let's try another map.
Yeah, sounds good. It's really interesting to see how they structured the levels, like when you're not seeing just the walls.
Mm-hmm. There was one that I really enjoyed looking through, which was which one was it? Hanamura was interesting. Let's do that one first.
Traveling to Hanamura.
Have you seen the Lucio surf videos?
Mm-hmm.
Maps, I mean. So like when you get off the wall, it resets.
Yeah. It's good rollout training.
Why is this here?
Why is what where?
Alright, we'll come back to our spawn for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Now explain to me why you think they might have put this. Teleporting.
Oh,
A little... Oh, that's the edge of...
it connects outside.
To an area that you can literally never see in game.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. And you got a big black square over here. Two of them.
I've lost you.
Back towards original spawn. Around the spawn gate.
Oh, I
there's
see.
big
Yep.
Black square.
Oh yeah.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you go to the enemy spawn, there are streets that you can't access. That you can. Oh, actually, you know what? This map was originally going to be a payload map, so you can actually access over here. The bit where the payload would have originally started.
Oh, that's pretty dope. I feel this map would have made a better payload map than another two.
Yeah, true. And I'm gonna guess that this was going to be one of the checkpoints.
The big gate here.
Yeah.
Was it set to be just pure payload or hybrid? Pure payload.
I'm not sure. I think it was pure payload.
I'm just a really big fan of this super low res floor over here.
I know, it's great.
16-bit, let's go.
I mean, it's pixelated and everything.
Oh yeah.
Well, like this spot right here where I'm standing.
Oh. So I remember when I was a kid, I played this game on PlayStation called Jackie Chan Adventure.
Oh no, you're dying there.
God.
Oops.
Needs me.
Anyway,
And this
Jackie
game,
Chan Adventure.
On its full release, like you could see the world box on the edge, and it was just like direct 2D paintings of trees and stuff on the outside that weren't fully colored in. It was crazy. I've never seen anything like it on a finished release. And it was just a disc game on PS2. The game itself was kind of janky, but it was adorably unmade, like badly made.
Oh, this spot's great.
Teleporting it.
Right. So drop here.
Sure.
Walk this way. Oh, actually, not down there.
Yep, that's where I just died.
Yeah. You can see under the buildings, even though
Yeah.
they're right next to each other. So I didn't mean to go all the way down there, but like... There's a staircase here! Where does this staircase go?
Up?
What is the purpose of this staircase?
That's what I mean. That's why I like looking at it, because like, just weird.
You're never gonna see that staircase!
An artist had an idea, like, oh, we'll put this there, and then they just never get back to it. We'll just hide that behind a wall, it's fine.
You might see the staircase if you're Farah, but like... You're never gonna think to look there for a staircase.
Where's their spawn? Normally you'd come out here, you go up, and you've been playing around here, right? If you go to the left, yeah, you can see the staircase. If you come to this mini.
Oh yeah, if you're looking for it.
I've never realized this. How I mean, you wouldn't look out here, but you can see the unfinished part as Farah.
Yeah, but the other weird thing is this, this tower, from a distance, looks 2D. Is that just me?
I'm gonna go away and find out.
Like this part of the tower, specifically where I'm standing.
Wait, the pole you mean?
Yeah, the pole.
Yeah, it looks pretty... I don't know if that's just the shading. I think the shading's out and it's making it look weird, but like...
Yeah,
bottom
it's the
definitely
shading.
looks more than if you look up, it doesn't, but the bottom certainly does, yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's unfinished shading on it. Because like even up close, like these little bands that wrap the two materials together are really, really low res.
Yeah.
I'd say it's just the res making it look 2D. I'm just a big fan of these signs. Like I don't know what this one could mean. Just don't stand at an angle.
Don't stand in the red circle.
Exactly. And use this pole for waiting with your child?
Yeah, there are some weird bits. Oh. I was in the enemy spawn, accidentally.
Done it again.
That will kill you, as a warning.
Oh,
And then I will also show you Hollywood, because that one's really good in terms of areas you'll never see. Because Hollywood's designed like a bunch of sets.
yeah. So I've always noticed, like, if you listen at the first spawn, you can hear movies playing behind the thing. That's pretty cool.
Hmm.
I will protect the innocent.
I don't even know why they put Sombra in this mode. Like, where would...
You can use her translocator for stuff.
Okay, this movie is clearly the terrifying void. Good.
I was able to get to the Hollywood sign at one stage.
Ooh. Wonder if you can sit on that platform up there next to the tower.
Doubt it. The tower? Oh no, actually, your rockets don't even get close to the tower.
I think that's just because of the distance. Yeah. I'll see if it's touchable. Nope, no it is not.
Also, look at the map from this angle.
Oh my. Yeah, that's the terrifying void.
Oh, there's a hole in the mountains.
Oh. So there is. Seems to be one of the smaller maps as far as like actual things that are in it.
Mm-hmm. The mountains extend out pretty far, so I think that's part of it.
Yeah. Big rolling hill.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a bird? There's a bird over here.
Yeah. This game has birds.
Never mind, it's a tiny, tiny jet.
Oh. Yeah, there are those here too. I just saw some birds fly by. Wait, you saw the smoke and immediately went bird?
Well, I mean, you know.
The tiny jet is designed to look like a big jet from a distance.
From far away, yeah.
So they don't have to render a big jet. I also like how there's this one tower just out in the mountains. Just a skyscraper, you know?
Tower far, far away. Okay, where does this jet go? Nope, just disappeared.
Oh, I like how the road for the street continues on.
Yeah.
Even though, again, you're never going to see this road. I don't think it's solid.
They just had the asset, set it down for a certain width, and just that was the length it had, so they just slapped.
Yeah, probably. Because that road is the one that starts off in the attacker's spawn.
Yeah. Well, look how far it goes that way. I mean, I suppose it kind of has to this way, especially because Farah can definitely see down this way. Oh, nope, I'm on the skybox. Can't touch the ground.
I also like how at the end of this road is just a solid building. On one end, just the void. The other end, straight into a building. Also, look at how low res... Check out this window cover thing. The windows are painted... The window frames are painted in such a way
It's
that they look...
IKEA's new curtain model. It's called Blur. It's great.
There you go. Just the top left corner and the bottom right corner. What was going on?
They got tired. A lot of things to do. You know, not much time to finish stuff like that. I wonder what the view from this observatory is. Really gives us a scale of these buildings are tiny.
Oh yeah.
Turns out not good. Not much to see. A few scant buildings, and again, more of the void.
Oh, it has little arches that you can actually go through.
Yeah, seeing this, I feel like I could be a world design artist. It doesn't seem that difficult.
Oh, check out these stairs.
Blurry shape. Oh yeah.
Not even 3D.
But I mean, have you ever noticed the observatory up here?
Not really, and I don't think you will.
I'm gonna even see if it's visible. Knowing it's here.
Also, I like how, this building doesn't have an outer texture. You can see straight inside it.
Yep. Okay, so you can just see the observatory, and from down here, it does look like really detailed. So you can see, like, that's the obviously the minimum they would have had to do. But as far as, like, it doesn't look any less detailed here than the buildings you close.
Yeah, no, you could see it even if you're not Farah.
No, I'm just sitting on the ground and looking at the top dome.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sitting on the...
That is a very specific angle, though.
Oh yeah. Like if we go back towards point A.
Clearing the area.
I don't. Well, again, you have to be Farah for this, but you can definitely see it.
I'm on the wrong side of the skybox. Help!
Oh no. No, it's super visible from point A. Way more.
Justice
I've just never.
reigns from above. Incoming.
Have you done the gun game?
Yeah, that was the first mode we played today. A lot of fun. I'm really bad at it.
Yeah, I went in. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be great. I played heaps of gun game. Nope. Pretty bad.
There was another one that was really good. I'm just looking through the list to see if it jogs my memory. I bet the newer maps have less of this kind of stuff on the edges that you can find.
They seem to be more cluttered than newer ones. Like Paris is really detailed.
Mm-hmm.
Just the one with the giant robot on it in the water. That's Volskaya.
Alright, let's do Volskaya. I was looking at it going, does it have anything interesting?
There's a big...
I will protect
Yeah, this guy. Okay, yeah, you can be in the robots' heads and pile them a bit.
Yeah, look, like right here, there is a seat. There is a chair in the face.
Can you? If I go in the glass, can you see me?
Yeah. Hang on, let me see if I can do that for you so that you have an idea of what I'm seeing here. Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez, oh man.
I'm bad at this. Okay. Oh, balls.
Yeah, you can see through the glass.
Yeah. I am very bad at that.
You can stand on it.
Yeah, he seems to be mostly solid. Oh, that's a skybox. There we go.
Oh, look at that super low res one that's moving in the background. I've never noticed how low detail that is.
Which one?
I have this.
Oh, that one over there.
It's made out of mashed potato.
Oh, this poor guy. That's really bad.
Yep.
Those are some sharp shadows as well under the arms.
Oh yeah, I mean I've got my graphics down to low because my computer is a hot mess, but that's... And there's another one. The mashed potato bros.
See, like, it's too bad areas like this, the ground isn't solid, because this could be good for a mini-map of...
Honestly, it just seems like a wasted opportunity because they could add more maps to Volskaya. They could add in a payload one or something else.
Yeah, this bridge is not solid either. Yeah.
I want to get hit by a car. Top 10 statements before disaster.
Oh, I like the floating houses over here.
Where are you at? Oh. Also, there's a lot of gas coming out of it. I would say smoke, but there is just green gas coming out of the chimneys. 2D plumes of green gas.
That's amazing. So
That's
yeah.
really interesting how they do their textures.
Yeah.
So, floating
so that you can see these houses, they're floating.
Oh my. I mean, Volskaya is a very advanced city. I'm not going to judge.
I mean, look at that ship over that way.
Are these blurs birds, are we thinking? Or planes, or just blurs? I'm going to guess just blur.
Oh.
Yep, they look like cellophane.
2D cellophane.
Yeah. I mean, cellophane's pretty much 2D, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not atomically, but yeah. That's what...
Alright, so how about that spaceship looking thing over there?
I mean, we gotta give it a try. Fight our way through the cellophane. It is getting lower and lower res the closer we get. Oh my god, look at those blue pads.
Blue pads?
the little hover discs that are on it on the bottom of the
Oh my god, that is low res.
These are something else. That looked really high detail for far away. This has not even got colors on it.
It does have a model though. So they could up the textures and it could be a really good looking ship.
Yeah. I just like his little buddy ship that's here.
Oh yeah, there's another one on the other side. Oh, there's a gap in this.
In which?
In the big ship.
Oh. Look, hover technology. We don't question. Do not do that here.
Futuristic spaceships.
Exactly.
Also, I like how this one has a, like, trail line behind it.
That just seems to be like a dragging static asset.
Yeah. And it is moving. There's no way you can see this from...
No, I feel like you can see these. You can see some of these small details in the background. Like, I've noticed the ships and stuff before.
We can't see the actual spawn from here, though. Look.
Well, I mean, alright. I'll head back and see if we can see these ships at least. I feel like it's going to be easier to die and respawn, isn't it?
That's what I'm thinking, too.
Yeah, you can definitely see those. Oh my god, it looks so
Weird that you can't see this part of the map from there, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's probably again because it's got no, like, at least some of the stuff on the left side, it might have no external textures.
Maybe.
Although, no, that can't be it because you can see the external stuff from here. Maybe the rendering distance works on the differently.
Yeah, that could be it.
Wow, they don't actually explode, they just peter out after a certain distance.
Alright, thanks for watching. No streams planned. I do, this week. I do plan on doing some VR streams next week. So tune in for that.
Yeah, after a certain distance, like everything, all the black boxes around the spawns is
I'll
what
see you
starts
guys next
showing up
time.
more than everything else.
Interesting. Curious why they do that.
Maybe it's a anti-cheat measure. Maybe if they've got those really strong black solids in place, it helps. Like, I don't know. Anti. What would you need anti-cheating for? Just to stop them like